Boy, oh boy. Right. Let's see what's going on, bro. Let's plug back in. Right, to fix this. Okay. Is it not live yet? Hope it goes live in a second. Oh shit, I need to make sure that yeah. Hey, Shalom Makia. Yaba Shem Yoshai. Barakatham. First I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh Shem Yoshai, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there on the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Real quick, man, this guy, I saw him posting stuff on the apostles channel, and now he's pretty much spammed off. So he's one of them spam, one of these spam demons. Whether he's a agent, paid agent, or he just a bugged out Christian who's scared to death of this truth that we teach is irrelevant. We're still gonna break down his confusion that he's trying to spread, and it's easy work. All right, it's just easy work. So I can get this wrapped up real quick in about 10 minutes. So these devils are getting real hurt, and they're stretching this real bad. But let's get into it. Okay, so this guy, we the people, he said Genesis 11:28-33 says Abram was a Syrian from Ur of the Chaldees. Genesis 15:7, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees. Deuteronomy 26:5, and thou shalt speak and say before the Lord thy God, a Syrian ready to perish was my father, and he went down into Egypt and sojourned there with a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous. Now he says, at no time was Abraham nor his son Isaac a black man from Africa. Isaac was the father to Jacob, whose twin brother was Esau. All right. Now, first of all, what you call Africa in the scriptures is known as the land of Ham. Okay. So let's get that. Okay. There's no such thing as Africa, first and foremost. All right. This is Psalms 105:23. Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. So that region was known as the land of Ham. Now, the Hamites didn't only live in that region. The Hamites also lived in the Middle East, in the land of Canaan, and it was known that at one time they also lived in Iraq, because when you go back into Genesis, the 11th chapter, first of all people, including the Hamites, were living in the region of Iraq, and the leader at that time was a Cushite, so-called Ethiopian, whose name was Nimrod. So what Esau tries to do is he tries to basically say, he uses this term black, which is no such thing. All people are a people of color who vary in color and characteristics, except the so-called white man. Okay, you got people in Asia that are dark skinned, you got people in so-called Africa that are dark skinned, you got people in South America, you got people in Oceania that it's just varying degrees of color exist throughout the world. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, but he wants to try and limit so-called black people or people of color to Africa, which is not true. Because even if you read Genesis 11, Nimrod was a Cushite, which is what you call an Ethiopian today, and he was living in Iraq. So how do you explain that? You fucking moron. All right, but his point about Abraham being a Syrian, first and foremost, the reason it says that Abraham was a Syrian from the Ur of Chaldees isn't because he was a Syrian according to the flesh, as in lineage. What it means is he had sojourned for a time in Syria. Okay, that's why Deuteronomy 26:5 says that thou shalt speak and say before the Lord thy God, a Syrian ready to perish was my father. Now, what does it mean by that? When we go to what you gotta do is look at a map, man. Abraham's journey, which they have created maps for. Haran, this area of land is in Aram's territory, which Aram is where you get the word Syrian. Syrian goes back to the people of Aram and therefore the land of Aram. Okay, Abraham and his family originally they were living in the Ur of the Chaldees, which is in the Chaldean region, which at this time you had Cushites living in that region too. All right, you had Ur of the Chaldean. He was a Hebrew which was living in that region, and then he traveled up into Aram, and then he ended up in Egypt. So that's why the scriptures refer to him as a Syrian, because he was living in that land. But if you go to Genesis the 10th chapter, just go to that real quick, you can see that Abraham's lineage does not come from Aram. All right, so let's get straight to the point. Genesis 10 and 22. The children of Shem were Elam and Asher, Arphaxad, Lod, and Aram. Okay, all right. And the children of Aram, Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Now, Aram, that's where you get the language Aramaic. Aramaic is also called the Syriac. Okay, Syrians, Aram, another word for Aram is Syria. So Aram and Syria is the same thing. Now, did Abraham descend from Aram? Genesis 11 continues the line from Shem through Arphaxad, which was Aram's brother. Shem went to Arphaxad, and then you read down, the lineages go down, read it yourself. You can get straight to the point. Then you get Eber, which is where you get the Hebrew. All right, Eber is the father of the Hebrews, or Hebrew branch of family. Do we need to prove that? I suppose, yeah, we do. Eber I'm surprised the lexicon doesn't actually state that to the point. Maybe I gotta go. Eber, okay, is the ancestor of the Israelites, man. That's where you get the Hebrew. All right. Actually, I might have to read through this article one day. It says here that Eber retained the original Hebrew language, which is named after Eber. Look at that. Okay. See Adamic language. I might have to go into that another day. So that's where you get Eber, and from Eber came different Hebrew families like Esau, Ishmael, so forth, Israel. So we move down, and it tells you to, Nahor, Ru to Serug to Nahor to Terah. And then Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haram, which Abram's name was changed to Abraham. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees, meaning they were born in that land. Okay, so I don't see what the point was of bringing up that Abraham was a Syrian when the scriptures are clear that in his lineage, he was a Hebrew. But at one time, he spent time sojourning in Syria. So he was described as a Syrian for that sake. It's very simple, you know. And, this bullshit about at no time was he a black man. Well, you're right. He wasn't a black man from Africa because black men don't come out of continents. He was just a man of color, you know, just like his father and his father's father before him. In fact, all people on earth are different shades of brown except you Edomites. I'm not going to sit here and argue about this black thing. It's just ridiculous. Okay, we're all people of color. Am I a black man? Whatever, man. Look, man. Whatever, man. Look, man. You Edomites, you bear the curse of leprosy. Okay, and the bottom line is this: if you're not an Edomite, you're not gonna face the judgment of Esau. If you are an Edomite, there's nothing you can do. You come on the comment board and talk all you want to talk. You're just gonna receive judgment, and ultimately you're gonna be eradicated off the face of the earth, man. And nobody really cares. I only really mention this to edify those who may be confused by that term Syrian. They might think, oh, it's a contradiction. It's not. It's very simple, okay? Check the comment board, then I'll clock out. Clock out. Seek the Lord 12. Yea, that's just Uriah the Hittite. He wasn't an actual Hittite lord. He just inhabited that land. Yeah. You just have to have understanding, man. So, these Edomites, they'll try and spew any madness. That's why he's spamming it everywhere, because this truth is getting to him. And his thing is, if he spams this everywhere, it's gonna make it true. So he's really worried, man. And you should be worried. Okay, because your spirit's probably convicted, man. Deep down inside, you're the devil and you got something coming to you. So this is just madness here. There's no point to what you're talking about. All right. I'm not black. Yeah, I'm an Israelite. Okay, and I happen to be of color, which fits the archetype of our people, because the archetype of an Israelite is a man of color, varying shades. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom. This ain't gonna be a long thing. Shalom to you, Archeon, man. And death to you, scoffers, man.